Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is the pity party that I told to be serious that I wouldn't have, probably, and it probably won't cheer you up, so don't, if you're not. Drinking in the afternoon. I like drinking in the afternoon, that's the problem. How's it going? What's it been now? This is the video I also said I wasn't going to make about my ex-boyfriend. Not really going to talk about my ex-boyfriend, I'm just going to talk about life in the wake of my ex-boyfriend. So where were we last time? Like, I was telling you I was fucking fabulous and that I was never going to speak to that prick again. Yeah, I was doing well. I went out for drinks, went out for the cocktails with the girls at work that I mentioned, women at work that I mentioned. And I got really pissed, and on the way home I called him. Big mistake. And then so I arranged to speak to him the next day sober. And once again said, why don't you move to London? You know, if you can move to London, we can forget all of this ever happened. And he was like, basically, he's not going to move to London on William Prayer, no. And so by the end of the phone conversation, it was sort of like he was breaking up with me, even though I'd already dumped him 3 weeks earlier. He just hadn't known about it, and I hadn't told him about it. Because I cried, because I was upset. And he apologised, and he was like, I'm really sorry, Jess. I'm like, you don't seem sorry, you're not crying. I'm really sorry. And it's sort of like, wait, you're not breaking up with me? Oh, no, I'm breaking up with you. This has already been done. Like, this is in the past already. How did we end up back here? So, okay, so yet again, I didn't exit a relationship with my dignity intact, but whatever. So then it's been a bit messy since. It's been a sort of desperate race to sort of fill every second of my time with things. But you can never do that, and there's always going to be a time where you sort of sit back and you feel sad. You know, you can't help it. And I've had a couple of dates with a nice Irish guy who was a nice, appropriate rebound fuck because he was nice and cooked me lunch and makes me feel quite good about myself. And he understands that that's what it is. Whereas I also had a really inappropriate rebound fuck where I was so drunk that I can't actually really remember it. So really sort of he's a bit of a wanker as well because he probably shouldn't have been having sex with me because I can't actually remember it. And I'm very rare that I'm ever so drunk that I can't remember it. Wow, 2 minutes into the video, welcome to my life, do you know what I mean? You know, I want to be known for who I am. I don't want to... You know, there's a weird... I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not. There's a weird double message about how to be loved in society. And on the one hand, it's like, you have to love yourself. You have to accept yourself for who you are. And on the other hand, people are fucking horrified if you're honest about, you know, your failings or whatever. If you actually hold your hands up and admit to things that aren't perfect. You know, it's like, so you're supposed to completely love yourself and accept yourself for who you are before anyone else can love you. But you're also supposed to... only ever present your best side. You're not supposed to mope about on Facebook. You're only supposed to put your best foot forward. Fuck it. I'm an honest sort of a person, so... so that other rebound fuck, not so good. And now I'm just in a bit of a sad point where neither of them... The thing with the nice Irish guy is sort of still ongoing, but I feel bad because he's not... There are just lots of... I shouldn't even talk about it. I've got myself into problems like that before, if you recall. I'm drinking far too much. I'm still not smoking though. 65 days today since I had a cigarette, and although I've had a couple of pure weed joints in the interim, I'd say like 2 occasions out of 65 days is probably like normal level of weed usage. So I'm definitely not smoking weed all the time or every day or obsessing about it, or, you know, I think the key is never smoke weed like 2 days in a row, because then you start to get into a cycle of... whereas if you only smoke weed, you haven't smoked weed in like a month and a half, it'll just fucking send you to sleep, man. I just lose the ability to talk these days. And then my friend Dan still smokes weed, so that's where I've been getting it from. He'll turn around like after handing me a pure weed joint, like half an hour later I'll just be like snoring. So I can't even hold my weed anymore. But I've been drinking loads, man. It's been really bad, the amount of alcohol I've been consuming. It's not good. I look really shitty. I feel really bad about myself. It's terrible. Really, like... Yeah, very bad. Bad on lots of levels. Like, I really hate the way I look. I'm trying not even to look at the screen while I talk to you, because unfortunately the camera's facing me and there's a fat screen of me talking. Try not to look at that, because I just feel really bad about the way I look. I'm sort of convinced that I'm going to be lonely forever, and It's weird, like, oscillates. It really oscillates. Like, when I find the place in myself where I do things that I really care about and that I really love, and then there's, like, I feel really good about myself. It's hard. It's never because I think I'm, like, really attractive, but I just feel more attractive sometimes as a result of having found the place I love. Because it's like, hey, I'm wearing, like, a pair of trampy trousers and a leather jacket that isn't at all flattering, but it's cool because I feel like me. It's, you know, when I feel really not that attractive is when I'm sort of tottering around on high heels in a skin-tight dress and sort of doing all the things that are classically supposed to make me look attractive. I sort of end up feeling like I'm then being compared to a load of women that do it better than I do. Whereas when I sort of do me, even though I don't ever really get checked out or anything, I sort of feel more like attractive because of me. And it's been nice to not, like, you know, I make it sound like I'm sort of going around desperately seeking another relationship or something, but actually it's been nice to give myself some, like, cocoon time, if you will, and just, like, be a grub, you know, just sort of trash around a little bit and not worry too much. I'm getting scared. I feel afraid. I'm really communicating badly in this video. I feel afraid in general, just really afraid, like, alone. My mum got a bonus at work and she was like, here Jess, here's £500, you can use this to the deposit when you move out, like, hint hint. And I really, like, obviously I want to move out, I'm 26 years old, but part of me just feels like this could be the last time I ever live with a family that loves me, you know, if I don't want to have children and I'm not attractive, then, you know, I might forever now be alone. I'm really scared of that, and it's quite frightening to think about being completely responsible for, you know, my mum's always been there as that sort of safety net when shit goes wrong. It's kind of scary to sort of think about living without that. And I don't, you know, before it was going to be like, I'm going to be moving out, but I'm going to go and live with my boyfriend who really loves me, and I'm going to get to live not in this scary, horrible, impersonal city, but I'm going to get to go and move to a small town where everyone's cool and left-wing, and it's going to be really cool, and where the money that I can actually afford to pay in rent is going to get me a nice living standard, and I'm going to have enough money to still be able to do stuff and develop interests and save money. Whereas now it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to be moving out into a really cold, impersonal city where I have to double lock my doors and make sure that no one's following me home at night, and you know, where I can rent a fucking room for the amount of money. I'm trying to move in with my friend Dan now into it because at least we can share an apartment. And, like, you know, so actually being alone is not even livable in London at the moment. You need to be with you need to be either in a couple or sharing with people. And I really can't bring myself to ever live in an accommodation again where I have to share with people I don't know, because this just stresses me out. Do not enjoy. So at least I get to live with my friend Dan. At least there's that. But all my eggs are in one. And I shouldn't complain. I've got a job. By the way, you know, that manager, you know, I was saying that, you know, my manager might give me this job for $30,000 a year if I hang around, whereas if I move to Brighton, well, I've got that interview now. That interview's on Tuesday, and she's on the interview panel, and she helped me do interview prep, so she probably wants me to get it because she's trying to prepare me for the interview she's going to give me. So I'd say that's a good sign, and it's like public sector, so they have to advertise it and then let people apply for it. They can't just promote me, which I think she would have done. So I'm likely to get it, so that's good, but I don't feel at all that just as soon as I think about being a personal assistant and the word permanent being attached to that, because at the moment I'm a maternity cover, the idea of being a permanent personal assistant is horrifying. I know it doesn't mean that you're always going to do it, but it just feels like, shit, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, the money's alright, but I'm not going anywhere. No one accords you any respect when you're a personal assistant. And then, of course, that conflicts with what I actually want, because I don't even want to go anywhere anyway. I don't even have corporate goals. I'm not even interested in playing the capitalism game. I have to play it, but I'm not interested in doing it. I'm not taking to it like a, you know, fish to water. I'm not, you know, hungry and champing at the bit to fucking get myself a really high-flying career and whatever, even though I'd probably be alright if I actually put my mind to it. Because who the fuck wants to be a capitalist drone for the rest of their lives anyway? All I want to do is sort of save up some money to do a teaching English to a CELTA, like a teaching English as a foreign language course, and then get the fuck out of Dodge, man. And I was thinking about, you know, my dream jobs, and I was really trying to picture a life for myself where I might feel happy. And all I could really come up with was, like, maybe working in, like, South America in conservation or something. And I was talking to the Irish guy, actually. He said he had a friend who spoke really good Spanish, and she went out there to do some other job and ended up working in the Amazon rainforest as an English Spanish translator. So I'm thinking now I should like not only do the Celta, but I should learn. I started learning, in fact, last weekend using these sort of, really phrase book Spanish sort of tapes that we've got in the living room. I was trying to teach myself sort of basic Spanish, but I reckon I could probably pick it up pretty fast if I put my mind to it. I reckon that if I do one night a week of the Celta and one night a week of the Spanish, I could be a translator in Spain. That would be amazing. In South America. I think she works in, I can't remember where, Peru. That sounds amazing. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. But even then, like my whole life is just governed by fear. I'm so afraid. Not because I'm afraid to do it. I'm not. I really like. All I want is to get the fuck out of Dodge, and really like find myself, far away, having to respond every second of every day to new challenges, because that's the only way that I ever feel okay, and that I don't sit and obsess about myself, and I don't sit stagnating in myself, is when everything's moving all the time, and I like that. But no, what I'm afraid is, what if I get to a certain age and I want to come home and I haven't got anything? What if, what do you do when you're 70 and you're retiring and you still live in rental accommodation and the state pension is shit? What do you do? But you can't live, surely you can't live your whole life just, saving up treasure so that when you retire you have an alright 15, 20 years. But then who wants to, my mum talks about the last 15, 20 years of her life are going to be really she's preparing herself to basically scrimp and save for the last 30 years of her life after she retires, because she's not going to have any pension, and because she had to raise her kids on her own and she haven't managed to pay off the mortgage on her own. So that's just, I can't imagine anything more depressing. And then I think, do I not have a responsibility to my mother to make quite good money so I can support her when she retires? Like she's always done for me, actually. Can I be fucking... I've decided, I'm not going to have children, because that way I don't need to feel selfish for living sort of a hand-to-mouth existence. But what about my mum? Do I not have a responsibility to her? See, so... And then, you get from there, all these crazy imaginings to the reality, which is no, really, you work 9 to 5 as a PA. You're fucking back and forth on the London Underground every day. These are all just mad pipe dreams. And I can't save. Every month goes by, I've hardly saved any money, Still just paying off debts. Doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. So then I do need a permanent 30,000 a year job. And then, great, I get to picture the next sort of 2 years of my life working flat out for shit money with no respect. Well, it's not a very popular viewpoint, obviously, because it's the recession. I should just be more grateful for what I have, grateful for the fact I have a job. Really sucks to have to be grateful to be a capitalist drone, but there it is, I should be. YouTube, how are you doing? I get really lonely. Posted something on Facebook this morning and it just sat there for about 4 hours, and then I look at people that have had something up for because I only have 50 friends on Facebook, because I literally cut everyone that I didn't fucking give a shit about. I got really tired of it made me very, very depressed. I hardly use Facebook anyway, but I've been trying to get back and sort of reach out into whatever connections I might have with the world, because otherwise I'm just going to completely be isolated. And so, but I got rid of loads of people because I just did not give a shit about any of it. But then I feel bad because I watch people that have something up for 3 seconds and they've got 50 likes, and then they look at their friends list, they've got 1,000 friends, so it's easy to have sort of 10 people that like your shit, but of course to other people they don't know how many friends you have, so if your post sits there for 4 hours with no one liking it, you're like a social pariah, when the fact is you've got 50 friends, 20 of them live in America, they're not even out of bed yet. Oh, God, Facebook is a fucking nightmare. It is all a nightmare. I just don't get it. Don't get our culture at all. So, I'm kind of lonely. Really got to get to a place in myself where I just feel a bit happier. Feel a bit less afraid. I was thinking about getting a tattoo recently, and I thought that I probably shouldn't, because I'm probably in a grief stage and it'd be a mistake to do anything rash. But isn't that an analogy for my entire life? Just always too sensible, always second thinking things, and then you don't have any adventures when you second think everything. But I was thinking about sort of getting tattoos to sort of cement my values, to redirect my focus. Like I want to get a Jack Kerouac quote from On the Road. I know it's just such a cliche, but I do want to get a quote from On the Road, which is "The road is life," because that's what I really want to focus on. But then, what if, that could become a very depressing tattoo if one day I've got children and I've been forced to sort of settle down in one place, and all I can see in the mirror is, the road is life. I think partly it's just the person I am that means I'm not very popular, but I think it's also partly I'm just in the wrong culture. It was much easier to make friends in America. People just will strike up conversations with you in America. It's just less lonely there. London is such a lonely place. No one trusts each other. Alright, I don't have anything else to say. 16 minutes is more than enough video. It's just, what the fuck, that only filled 16 minutes of my Saturday. What the hell else am I supposed to do for the rest of the day? I suppose I'll go and buy a newspaper and sort of... Sometimes I like to buy the Saturday papers and then read, like, from cover to cover every word, which is good because it takes about 7 hours and it comes with the Saturday supplement. Woo, how exciting my life is. But I kind of enjoy doing that. I keep making the mistake of watching French films. Like anything with Audrey Tautou in it is going to make, or Tautou I should say, is going to make you feel depressed if you've recently ended a relationship. They're all fucking soppy romance films. I thought I'd be safe with a very long engagement because it has scenes of violent trench warfare in it, but no, it's still a romance. I ended up feeling like shit. I don't know why I keep doing it to myself, drinking red wine and watching French romances. It sort of works, like transports you for a while, but then you always get to the end of the film and listen to the sort of tap dripping and, it's not real. And, cool. Alright, let me know how you are, and I hope you're well, and comments welcome. See you soon. Bye.